jeez. Wait, give me a second. I just started.
Mel up in my grill.
That's right. That's why she's your wife. She's supposed to be all up in that grill.
No comment.
We did hit record, so.
Hi.
Hey, Mel.
You were missed on Saturday. Let's see.
Oh my God. I'm trying
How
to
you
stop saying it, but I can't get over missing it. I'm so sad.
How you feeling? You feeling better?
I'm feeling better, but I'm like, I still sound and feel congested, but I'm like, so many people are getting it. I'm like, I wanted to stay away from everyone, so I wasn't responsible for anyone
you.
getting sick. You're welcome, because
I had it too.
you did.
Yeah, girl. And I had FOMO
Ugh.
for not getting to meet up with y'all's team.
Oh, I know. Me too. No, I'm glad they had fun. I'm just still so sad.
You just need to come back, Trevor.
Yeah. Oh, he is.
He'll be back.
We are. We're
Yeah.
literally going to have a corporate overview in July.
Yeah.
So,
That's
so-
right.
and I actually have. Well, I mean, it's a drive by. Mel's dropped me at the airport. I got to fly to. I got to fly to Houston on the 12th out of Salt Lake. So we got to drive down because it was too big a hassle trying to get out of Idaho Falls or Pocatello or anything. I'm not trying to fly 15 hours to go for a 3.5 hour flight. Just not how I live that life. All right.
Why
All
not?
right, I see smiles today. This is like way better like attitudes today. Like I'm good. I don't feel like everybody walked in like all sad and defeated and like looking like their like puppy died or something. So that was really sad though. Oh, this dog, like this family we follow, the guys, like I really had a lot of like respect for the guy and his on TikTok, he lost his doggy though this week, and he was just like, it's so sad. I'm just like, right, like
It's so bad.
turned me into a big giant cupcake. Oh my
Are you
gosh!
trying to depress us? Let's keep it up.
No, but let me share where we're going with it, right? But it's a reminder to think about perspective, right? And it's all about how we take in that situation. So one of the things, and I'll record it because even though he's not here, I told Marcus I'd talk about this week, is this is a business, guys, and you need to track your business, okay? If it is 2025, I've shared them there in the folder, but if you want to make your own, that's fine. But if you're not tracking your business, if you don't know to the penny what your lead cost is a month, right? If you don't know how much you placed, right? At the end of the day, APV is pretty, but we care about what we place, right? So, I know exactly, right? Today's Thursday. We have 2 days left, technically 3, but nobody's placing anything in an insurance carrier on Saturday, right? We got 2 days left this month to place, right? Like if you don't know exactly where you are, like you got to remember, we got to run a business. Okay. And it's easy to not set that time aside a day to make sure you're tracking like, hey, I invested in the leads. Let me start by this. I'm not a tax attorney. I'm not an accountant. Seek your own advice. Okay. However, I'm going to share with you things I have learned and I know to do, right? First, let's talk about that. Things we do not cheap out on in life. What do we not cheap out on? First and foremost, you buy good toilet paper. Okay. Right? You buy good toilet paper, right? Like we do not cheap out on toilet paper. Those are things we do not cheap out on, right? The last thing you need is a fail on toilet paper, right? And who doesn't want like the Charmin Ultra Soft, right? Like, let's just be honest. So, right? Yes, Stacy, shoes, right? Beds, absolutely, right? Like if you're on the call, Casey talked about like Casey's obsessed with it, right? Like Casey's like obsessed with figuring that out. And like Mel and I talk about, like, we know our setup, we know what we like. We go to a hotel and most of the time I just don't sleep as well in a hotel because it's not my bed. But yes, health, right? We don't cheap on our health, right? Because this is the engine that runs the system, right? If you go put diesel in a gas running car, you're going to ruin your engine, right? It's the same thing with our bodies, right? What are other things? Oh, coffee. Absolutely. right? Like absolutely, right? We do not cheap out on coffee, right? Friends, right? For those on it's I really like that you put that there because Sam talked about it this morning. If you weren't on Kelly's call, right? Sam had to look at their friend group and say, like, we're the wealthiest by a significant amount in our friends group. And while they love their friends, like they're not around people that can do stuff with them. Like I've had, Mel and I've had that over the years where we're always supporting and we're always taking care of. And you've probably figured, and seen Mel and I like to do that, but there's also, right? Like I want friends in my circle that I can be like, hey, we're here, come meet us. And guess what? You can just get on a plane and go meet them. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to look at your bank account, right? Like that's why we're all here, right? Like we're all here. So like when we get that call, it's like, hey, we're over here, right? Like, let's go, let's go do that. Like, so Kevin Purdy was going to England earlier in the year, and he was talking to Chris Cook and was like, hey, come over and come see us. Chris didn't have to think about it. Chris and Kev are good friends, right? Like Chris just booked a flight, him and his family flew over to England and hung out, right? Like that, like if you're not getting around those people, get around those people, right? If you're not there yet, like get your circle to be that circle. Cause I think it really, really, really matters. I agree. I also want to try the Four Seasons bed because I'm a bed snob and I'm like really picky about it. So totally agree, Sandra. And you've heard it. It's funny. We've heard it interesting lately. And I really think I've heard it on multiple calls, right? And it talks about the sum of the five, like your five closest friends. But I don't even think it's that. I think it's the five people you let influence you. Right. And Emily just wrote it, right? She was typing it up. And I think it's more important, right? Like than even it's more important than even like those five. It's the five you let influence you, because you can have a close circle of friends, but do you let your mom or your dad or your sister or your brother or maybe even a significant other like not support you there, right? Like how many people here, right? We're gonna do some interactive chat since nobody's talking today. How many people here know or have seen or experienced a partner that wasn't supportive of their person, right? They're like, hey, I want to take a risk. I want to go try this, right? Like how many people right? Like drop a one in chat if you've seen, maybe it's never happened to you. Maybe you got to, right? Maybe you're like me where Mel's just always nutso enough to let me go do all this crazy shit, right? Like it scares the crap out of her. She does not like it gets Mel's natural core. Okay. Mel, when it comes to that, is like her mom was. Okay. But when it comes to buying stuff, Mel's like her dad. Okay. So like Miller and Mel's dad, you remember the as seen on TV commercials, right?
Right.
That shit was built for them. Like they had like when I first started dating Mel, like they had like Miller bought, Senior bought, like Pops bought everything. Like Mel's the same way. But when it comes to like other stuff, Mel is risk averse naturally, right? Like in her core, she's naturally risk averse, but she knows that's like what pumps me up, right? So you can be in that position. So remember, like that really matters, and how you let that influence you goes. Okay. So back to the business, right? If I asked you today, here's one right now. Besides AVT, okay? All right. So besides AVT, because you don't know, it's a compliment. Okay. Besides AVT, if I offered everybody right now and I said, share your screen, log into your tracker, and show me you tracking all your business expenses, and I said I'd give you $250 credit in your Opt account, how many people could do that? Right? How many people could actually do that? Bender, right? I see one hand.
Why is that
Right,
up to date?
Kayla?
that I do
What about
track
you?
my-
Didn't see Stacy's hand?
Oh,
We've
there we
got
go.
a
I'm trying to
dashboard.
look. I can always see so many people so fast. Right? That's awesome. Stacey, as I've gotten to know you, that doesn't surprise me.
That's
What if
right.
we have it on paper? I mean, sometimes we, oh, you can see it. Sometimes we use notebook.
right? But like but like we're working on it, we're doing it, we're not doing it. But we remember this is a business and we have to figure out what we're profitable at. Back to example, right? With leads, right? I'm agnostic to what leads my team works. I don't care if they want to be Latanya James and only work bonus leads. I don't care if they want to be Dylan Crane and buy MIAs. Ugh. I don't like MIAs, me personally, right? If you want to be like me and work digital, like I don't care what it is, right? Like you got to figure out what works for you, but you got to figure out there's cool tools like QuickBooks, Wise, or not Wise, Wave. You know, like you can go look at Wave. It'll like you can import your credit card statements. If you don't have one card like you're just using for work, like I highly recommend it, right? Like get a card that like you're just using for work. Trust me, it will make your tracking way easier. Okay. So, but perfect, right? Like, so now let's talk about that. Things we didn't cheap out on. We do not cheap out on CPAs and attorneys. Okay. They
True.
make us money. Okay. Right. As you scale up, one of the things you want when you write your CPA bill, it wants to hurt a little bit, but you know it hurts because they saved you a ton of money, right? Like you have to have the firm we use has a tax attorney. It's part of the reason I use that firm. It's because it's a tax attorney. Okay. What else don't we cheap out on? Mentors.
Coaches.
Yes, mentors, coaches, personal development. Okay. It is worth it, right? How many people here, right, are going to go to have signed up and are going to the Adrian Dantley training, right?
I don't know what
Like-
that is, but I need to know.
Branch.
Branch. Oh, I call him Dantley,
Yeah,
but Branch. Yes.
another great basketball
Oh
player.
yeah, Adrian Branch.
yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I call him Dantley. Like, but Branch, right? Like, again, this is what I know. If Brian, this is like, I know Brian Williamson well now, know enough to know this. Like, if they are investing, like, and say, hey, bring someone on, there's a reason, right? They're gonna bring value. Like, go check them out. And oh yeah, like, it's, you know, we hate both teams, Miller, so it's equal. But yeah, but those are things we don't want to skip out on, but you have to know how profitable you are on whether you're investing in it or not. Okay. How many of us have, right? How many of us had bad upbringing with money, right? That it was like bad. It didn't grow on trees. It didn't, right? Like my feet are raised. Okay. You have to change your mindset. Okay. You have to change it. If feeling like spending $100 on leads is freaking you out, how are you ever going to spend 500? How are you ever going to spend 700? How are you ever going to spend $1,000 in a week on leads? My lead budget is cranked right now because we're on an AO run, right? Like I'm trying to like make sure I got production coming in, right? Like, but if I think, you know, I had a gentleman I'm interviewing. So he emailed me back and said, hey, he had told me in the interview, he wants to make $150K a year. He sent me a thing and said, so I really want to only spend $500 a month on leads, but I want to make $150K. How many here think that's possible? How many
No.
here know it's basically not, right? Like, unless you have the best warm market and the best referral network in the history of the world, right?
Right.
Which it's possible, but you're not going to spend $500 a month and make 20K a month, right? Yes, a week, Stephanie, correct. That was my response. That's what you guys spend a week, right? Like you got to spend that a week, okay? But how do you know whether you're profitable or not, right? Like where it's going, what it's doing, right? I'm always beta testing leads, right? And I just don't buy one or two. I go through a bunch, boom. Okay, I know the data. Here's where I do. I know, and you can ask Mel about this, and some of you heard me say it. I personally know I crush Southern women in Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, right? See her laughing? I kill that demographic. I don't know why they like my over aggressive smart ass. but I kill that demographic. So I focus on them. Like I connect really, really well with that demographic, right? Have you made enough calls that you know that yet? Right? Have you tracked your leads that like, oh, hey, like I'm doing really good in Texas, or hey, I'm doing really good in Cali, or hey, I'm really doing good in Iowa. I don't care what state it is. If you would have told me I would kill like Mississippi, I would have laughed at you. I'm like, I'm not gonna do well in Mississippi. I crush Mississippi. I also found out I'm the king of thruples. I found that out this week, right? Like, learn something new every day. You also get told stuff you can't unhear. I don't want to hear all that information. I don't want to know it, but they wrote 6K worth of policies. Okay, right? Yeah, right. But like, there you go, right? Walnetta, I do really well in Illinois, right? Like, hey, I have a favorite straight, right? But you know it because you tracked it, right? Are you tracking where that's coming then? I'm sweet to everybody. Like, I'm sweet. I'm not sweet. I'm a cupcake. So like hard on the outside, soft in the middle. I'm like a burrito from like 7-Eleven back in the day, right? Like, so that's that's there. But right, like there you go, right? Allison, like I'm doing really good on, right? And she is, right? She's #1 on the national leaderboard this week and passive income, right? Like she knows, like in person, I'm doing really well there, right? Like, so figure that out. Like, if like start as quickly as you can, add states, right? Like get them to add in and get going, right? Like Daniel's on this call. He texted me last night, like, hey, here are the states I just added, right? I'm going to start working them and then track the data, right? Like I've removed states from my list. I was not doing well in Kentucky. There's a lot of leads in Kentucky. I was doing terrible in there. I took it off my lead orders. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to remove that because I tracked my data. I'm like, I'm getting a bunch of leads, but I'm not converting them, right? Kansas, there we go, right? Dayla's like Kansas. I do opposite. I do well in Kansas. Like I do well with the farmers, right? Kansas, a lot of farmers, but Dayla's knows like, hey, I don't, right? I don't, and that's okay, but you don't know it unless you track your business. Okay. Right. And again, you got to know to be profitable. Here's the other thing. It's going to be really cool to look back and be like, look where you came from and look where you're going. So those days when you're having a bad day, you can be like, oh, I remember when I like had no money there to do that. Or, oh man, like that month was there and I couldn't go there. Right. And it's the same thing with the recruiting as it is sales. Okay. Maybe you will do really well on Craigslist, but you're not advertising there and you don't know it yet, right? Maybe you'll do really well on ZipRecruiter, but you don't know because you haven't invested there yet. Maybe you're LinkedIn, whatever it is, right? Maybe it's Glassdoor, right? It doesn't matter what it is. You have to think of it just like leads, right? I advertise Craigslist. If you want to start building, it's the cheapest way. It's $35. You go put a lead up tomorrow, like today.
Totally
like right
forgot
now.
about it.
Christina Watts uses Craigslist all the time, right? She's one of the fastest growing AOs in the company, right? She's writing 70K a week as an AO, right? And she's got leaders coming, right? Like that's like, but that's there. She uses Craigslist. I use Craigslist, right? Like go write a Craigslist ad, right? Like you can go, but remember, right? Like it's just like that. But you don't know unless we track it. So, right, like Bender, I'm gonna pick on Bender because he's been here for a while. Did you always track your business like you should, Steve?
I did not. And that's why I got out of the business for a little bit.
Right. So share, right? We got, most of us know each
Yeah.
other, but we got new agents here. So
Yeah.
for the new agents that are here, that imagine this, right? Imagine being able to go back and have it all done from the beginning, right? Like how cool would that feel?
Oh yeah. If you're not tracking, you're not really in business, right? And it becomes just an expensive hobby, right?
Mhm.
So you just got to make sure you know your numbers, to Trevor's point, down to the penny. And like we talked about lead costs, which is like what I do is I have my lead costs, but then there's other costs associated with running this business as well. I'm doing coaching, right? it doesn't seem like a lot, but I got a, you know, a Zoom, you know, a Zoom account, right? Calendly, like you just got to, you know, it's all good for taxes, right? Just to make sure you know all your numbers, right? And then to Trevor's point, the submit business is great, but it means nothing, you know, so you need to know your place numbers. And then we don't like to talk about this, but you're going to get chargebacks, right? So how you accounting for that, right? So, and that's going to impact your place numbers, maybe not this month, but maybe next month. So, and then you have to look at your overall profitability. So yeah, numbers are key.
Yep. So, right, like, so as you're tracking them, and I'm bringing this up because like I've had a bunch of people ask me recently about it. So it's where you're going, but if you don't know what it is, you don't know, like you can't get there, right? And you have to be able to look of like it's there. So let's talk about what Steve just talked about, right? Here's a great example. Okay. I and Mel wrote off our entire month in Utah because we hosted everybody up on Saturday. The whole month. We wrote off the RV trip, all the food, a bunch of the food, the fuel, all those expenses, they're gone because I went and saw people. It's why I go see people everywhere I go, because I can write it off, right? It's a business expense. But Steve just talked about Zoom, Calendly, right? Not just your leads, any software, right? That you do, right? If you go out and you're like, go out to dinner, I will, if I talk to someone about the business, you can keep the receipt and say, hey, I talked to John Smith at
Oh,
this
wow.
restaurant about this business, right? Next thing you know, it's a write-off. You paid for the trip, right? You can track, like with me, us traveling, I track our mileage. I can write our mileage off, right? I have a mobile office, okay? And you're like, well, I'm at home. All right. But there are all the things you're spending on your business, your internet, you can write off part of your home as office space against your taxes, right? So, right, like all those different things. And I know this for the year. So if you're ever curious about stuff, right, you can ask me. Again, I'm always going to asterisk with, go talk to a CPA and, you know, your personal person, but I know how to like do that stuff. Here's the deal. Now I want you to all think about this, okay? And here's another plug for conference. You can give Uncle Sam the money in taxes this year because you got to pay taxes on the money you're making, or you can go to conference, get better, and write it off. It's your choice. But you're going to spend the money on conference whether you go or not, okay? Whether you go or not, you're spending the money on conference. The difference is it's either going to help your business grow, right? Because you can write it off, or you're going to send it to the government. It's your choice. What's up, Steph?
Oh, there we go. Okay, so my question is this. I normally, well, out of habit, would put my receipts for the week in an envelope. So
Yes.
it would be better off to just make a spreadsheet.
Yes.
This way I would have everything noted. So when I give it to my CPA, I'm good.
Yep, correct.
Okay. Because some of the receipts that I get, they print out. I went back and looked at the ones from January. You can't see them anymore.
Correct. That's why you got to load them in. And they have most of the software. If you spend, so here's an example. If you get like a inexpensive accounting software, okay, QuickBooks, all that, you can take pictures of the receipts, right? I snap a pic, it uploads it right into there, and you have it forever. Okay. Example, Miss Emily, right? She drove down to go to the San Antonio meetup. Unfortunately, Joe had to reschedule. She didn't know. She could still write all that mileage off, right? All that mileage she gets to write off on her taxes. Okay. Like it's all there. What do you mean? What is it called? What are you asking?
Oh, the my voice, the
There's
platform you
multiple.
use.
So QuickBooks, Wave are
Oh,
two really popular ones, right? Now they're going to cost you, you know, some money a month or year, but again, you can give that money to Uncle Sam, or you can grow and use your business. Because remember, we got to pay taxes on the money we make, right?
Mhm.
So the more write-offs we have that helped our business grow, the less money we have to give the government. And that is always a very good idea.
I agree.
Ever,
Right.
my accountant, the nice thing is he gives me a form. So I mean, I have it on a spreadsheet and then he just gives me a form to fill out and upload to my
Yep.
portal for him. That has all the expenses, you know, the categories. So I just send it and he takes care of it.
Right. And that's it. So you have to look at this kind of thing with your business too, just like sales. Okay. Do we have to make calls today or do we get to make calls today? Do you have to interview people today or do you get to interview people today?
Get,
Right. Right. Do you have to track your business or do you get to?
get.
Right. You have to, right. You got to keep that mindset framed in how you do it. Right. Now, listen, I want to track my numbers like I want to watch paint dry, right? Like in the terms of fun things to do in my life, I'm not like excited about like, oh my gosh, I got to track my numbers. This is sexy, right? Like it's fun. Like it's not fun. I'm not like, woohoo. Like now, some of you math nerds out there might like really enjoy it. That's cool. That's not me, right? But it's right. You have to change those, right? Like, like and same going into the appointment with, you know, this won't work. I don't understand this concept. I don't know what I'm doing versus, okay, I can handle this. Every call is an opportunity. I am prepared, right? Like, you know, like having that side of it, like it's how we operate it from there. And the same comes into running your business. Yep. Funnel, right? Ads, leads, everything is a write-off. We write off our internet because we're traveling on the road, right? I write that off, right? My AirPods, a write-off, right? Like all of that stuff is there. And I'm telling you, because I want you guys to think about that because it's important, right? Like we got to learn. Part of my goal of this is always sales training, but I want a business training too, right? Like I want to take advantage of years and years of owning this. And how have I learned a lot of these lessons? A couple ways. One, I have blown a lot of money because I didn't do stuff right. And I've made very expensive mistakes. Okay. Like I've just done stuff wrong. Two, I got very, very fortunate. Had a mentor that was literally a billionaire and took me under his wing and taught me how rich people do money. Right. Like, and I will say this for me personally. I never even thought about it. I can't, and I'm so mad at myself for not thinking about it. The fact Mel and I do not have an IBC set up to pay our taxes and fund our business with, like when they said that, I was like, oh my gosh, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Why are you not doing that? Like we're putting a massive IBC in on Mel because I got to spend that money anyways. I have to hold my money back a month for taxes. I got to have that money saved there. I got to fund leads. All the stuff I'm doing, I'm spending that money anyways. Why do I not want it making compounding interest? I was like, oh my gosh, like what am I doing? I'm an idiot. Like that's how I felt. I was like, that's so smart. Like, why would you not put that in on yourself? And maybe you're like, well, Trevor, I don't have that yet, but you can work your towards there. You can increase it up, right? You're not stuck at that forever. Why am I going to put it on Mel? Because she's a female and she's 5 years younger than me. That, right? And I get not everybody's in that position, right? We all can't be Dayla and Em and be 21 years old and be it, right? Like we're not all there. Like when I look at theirs, I'm like, I'm like peanut butter and jelly. I'm like, oh, right? Like they can buy a legal and general term policy for what they can buy accidental insurance for, right? Like, like think about that, right? So, but putting that there, why would I not like put that there? Like it was crazy. I'm like, I'm spending all this money anyways. Why do I not want it compounding? And then I can just pay the government out of that every year. I was like it just smacked me in the face. So when you see a big, ridiculous APV coming for a DFL, just know it was me and Mel funding our business. And I'm not going even as big as I want to yet because I don't, right? I don't have the cash flow I want to have yet. But it ain't going to be $100 a month either. So, right, like work your way towards there. But like those are the things we have to go there, right? So before we switch into the rest of the topic, what questions, how can I help you guys with running your business? Like, what are things you're like, I'm stuck here, I'm not sure about, what can I do? You know, those kind of things.
Not
know what?
everybody all at once.
Yeah, everybody's just killing it. All right. I know you all have questions. You're just not asking.
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Okay.
So I think I might have like joined this series after you had talked about the form where you track your business.
Uh-huh.
So you said it's in the files. Is it like a spreadsheet or?
Yeah, it's a spreadsheet in the drive. It should be. Let me pull up real quick. Hold on.
I've been trying to figure out the right way to keep track of things. I didn't
Yeah,
know that
hold
was
on.
in
Let me
there.
make sure it's in there. No, I am in the wrong drive. Hold on. Hold on. Where did she put it? I have the tracker in there. Hold on. It's like I'm in the wrong drive. Hold on. Hold on. There it is. I have an updated one. I'll reload it in there.
Okay.
I don't see the one I had in there because there's the copy of it. I'll mess with it afterwards. I don't want to eat everybody's time, but it's very simple. I just have now we use accounting software, but I have one for you guys. If you just want a simple spreadsheet for now to use, it's real easy. So,
That's great. Thank you.
yep. So yeah, so lead budget. I mean, we can talk about that, right? Like we either when most people come in, they either have time or money. Okay. Right. Can I pick on you, Katya? Can I pick on our combo from Saturday? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Right. So I'm asking Marissa. She said no, I wouldn't talk about it. But right, Katya said, hey, here's my lead budget. Here's what I'm doing. She was asking for some advice. All right. Here's the reality. Most people here have a car, right? If you really want to get a couple hundred, 200, 300, 400 extra bucks a week for leads, go drive Uber at Friday and Saturday nights and on the weekend, or get up at 4 a.m. and take the business dudes to the airport, right? And go drive Uber. There is literally, you can go make $200, $300, $400 in a couple days or two, right? Uber Eats, right? Absolutely, right? Like go do that and you can make some money. Like there, serve, right? Ali serves, right? Like you can do things to go make some quick extra cash, right? Like you can have some things and then you can take that money and invest it into your business. So, right. So she talked about like, hey, I'm going to Uber Lyft 2 days a week, right? Like, so then it's like, okay, hey, she's got an extra $200, actually put fuel in the car, right? Like now she's got $200 more to buy leads, right? It's 2025. We can do things to get in front of people. It's there. Now, I bet she's willing to admit that feels uncomfortable. Yes. But how much more comfortable are you going to feel when you're making enough sales that you just have a bankroll and you're funding your business and you don't have to do that, right? Short-term pain to fix a long-term gain, right? But most people aren't really willing, to do that, right? Like sell some, yeah, absolutely. Flip something on Facebook Marketplace. I have done a lot of things over the years to like make sure we had money. Like when the economy crashed back in 09, and we were trying to keep the business going, I had to sell a bunch of tools. Like I just had to, right? I mean, that was bad, right? Like for those who are young and didn't have to live through that, you have no idea what Armageddon's like. Like when I mean there is no money, there is no credit, it is brutal, right? I sold a bunch of my tools. But like there's things you can do to go get money for leads if you're willing to like not want to have a boss and like really change your life, right? Like if you're really willing to like make that commitment and want to do that. But again, goes back to, I give you an example. I was interviewing a gentleman earlier. He asked me for a scholarship to get his license. This is a dude that has a doctorate in bioengineering. And he was like, but I want a scholarship. I'm like, okay, well, we just, I ended the interview. I'm like, that's cool. We don't do that. Like, this isn't academia, right? We're not giving out grants here, right? Like, right? Like, there's just things you can do if you really want to get to where you're going. Because
Hey,
does everybody here believe you can get to where you want to go?
yes. Hey, Trevor,
Yes.
can I share just for a
Yeah.
little laugh? Because I had a similar, I had someone yesterday, and he told me, I don't need your leads. I just need to be contracted because I know all these people, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I will choose to work with you if you pay for my pre-licensing and my license. So I just said to him, and I choose not to work with you. Thank you.
Yes.
Have a good
Yep.
day. You know what? Hey, there's enough people out there. You can find good people.
Yeah, like there's like we're here to recruit, but I ain't trying to bring every single person on, right? Like if I think I legitimately, if I think you're an asshole, you are not coming on our team. Like you are not screwing up our culture. I love everybody on this call. I love our team. And over me and Mel's dead body, will you screw up this? Like, I've, those, are on here don't know this could happen to you. Let's talk a little bit about building. Okay. On those leads things. If someone comes in and says they don't want to buy leads and they don't need leads, it is a red flag. Okay. And fortunately, I caught him. My spidey sense went off. But I had this kid come in Tennessee. He went to an overview that Sam Fine was running, and the kid was good. He had tons of potential, but then his contracting was coming through. He was on Vector, and he had a bunch of money owed in America, a lot, like $6K. And he had this excuse that it was a family business and had a great story, but it immediately, right, set my spidey sense off. So I watched him and he was like not buying leads. Okay. And he came to me and told me, he's like, I only got $50 in my bank account. Okay. He said this. So I screenshot this. He then tries to go write a massive policy on himself at Legal in General. Thank goodness his credit was so bad they wouldn't approve him. Listen, you got to have really, really bad credit for a life insurance carrier to not approve you, like real bad. And so, like, we caught him. I switched him over to as earned, and then he tried to do the same at AmAm, but we had him on as earned, right? What's as earned if you're brand new? It means you're paid commission. So America, if you write a policy on yourself, they pay you your commission each month you make the payment, right? They don't advance you like the carriers do. That's how a lot of carriers do it on ourselves. Unlike like Legal in General, you write an L&G policy on yourself, they're going to give you your commission. They want you to help fund the business. Okay. So there's another way. If you really want to fund your business and really want to get this going, show commitment and belief in what we do, give living benefits on yourself, and go write a policy at Legal in General. And guess what? You will have that deposited to your account. And now you got $500,000, $2,000 bankroll to get this business going and go get it off the ground. And now you got to go sell because you got to make that payment every month. But you got 500 to a couple grand to go do it with, and you have living benefits, right? And now you got living benefits. But let me finish. So we catch him. I ended up having to go to legal, right? I literally had to go to Matt, our in-house counsel. We have them at Quility for special situations like this. I had to go to Matt Goforth, say, hey, Matt, we got this guy. We had to terminate him because I'm not letting people like that here. So while we are recruiting, you still got to be a good human, right? And here's the cool thing. People like that are probably going to flush themselves out, right? Like they're going to bring themselves out, right? We see who shows up, who comes to the calls, who's trying, who's sticking in, right? Like I see who's messaging me and who's not, right? Were you gonna say something, Lissy?
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I was off mute. I've been coughing,
okay.
so
That's
I'm
why I
like,
went
oh
green.
shit.
Yeah. So, right. So like that side of it. So how do we get past, right, the pit of despair, right? How many of us here know what the pit of despair is? Yes. What's the pit of despair?
Basically,
getting
you're
stuck?
stuck and you feel like you're getting nowhere. And no matter how hard you try, you're just like, oh, nothing's working out for me. I'm doing all this work and I'm doing hardly any good, like benefiting hardly at all from it. So,
Right.
It's
What
when
else?
you feel like you're in a pit and you can't climb out of it.
Yep.
Are
Absolutely.
we talking
What else?
about Princess Bride? Pit of
Great
despair.
reference.
I was like,
Yep.
Emily doesn't know that reference. She's too young. Have
I've seen The Princess Bride.
you? Okay, good girl.
Uh-huh.
I'm proud of you for that. Okay, good.
Right. So this is the biggest hurdle I think honestly at Symmetry you have to get over. Okay. This is why only 8% of people make it over the long run. It's because they're not willing to get past this. Okay. Is when you come in, right? It's you're you're incompetent, right? And you know nothing, and it's really frustrating. Okay. And then you decide you should be unconsciously competent, even though you've never done this before. People go from here to like here. Like they have this weird, wild expectation on themselves that they get to skip this, right? Because where we get stuck is right is when we become consciously incompetent. You're aware you don't know anything. Now you know enough that you feel like, oh my gosh, right? I'm not, this person. Oh my gosh, I'm not this person, right? I'm not Pat. I don't know all this about policies, right? Like, I'm not Debbie. I don't know all this, right? Like, this is the hardest part, right? Because you're consciously aware you got a lot to learn, especially your first 90 days, okay? So, right? So the pit of despair is getting over that hump of becoming consciously competent, okay? Which means you have to think about it, but like, okay, I kind of understand what critical period is now. I'm getting it, right? I'm getting that concept, right? I get that we use term life and whole life to underwrite a mortgage protection policy. That mortgage protection is a concept. Critical period is a concept, right? But people get here and they're like, oh my gosh, there's so many platforms and there's so much software and there's so much training. And then they jump in the pit of despair and they're like, I can't climb out. Right. And like, we can't go out of there. All right. So how do we get around there? We get there by doing this, right? We get there, about being around the 5 people and like really reminding yourself that like, hey, we have those pits to get there. So I gotta share this here. I gotta switch screen. I had to switch screen. So how do we get out of the pit of despair? Okay. So informal and formal. What do we think that means? Anyone? In time. All right. No volunteers. All right. So informal. Okay. So informal is you can go listen to a national call, right? Informal is you can go to like a training on the LMS, right? Formal is, hey, I'm going to commit to setting 3 appointments today and I dial and tell, I get 3 appointments. Okay. I think even more important than the D, right, is the A, right? Because we need the appointments. Dials are great, but if you dial until you reach, you'll get there. Okay. Vision, short term versus long term, right? This is where, again, a lot of people get stuck. All right. So they don't set realistic goals on where they want to be. Sandra, right, is making her slingshot, right? Everything looks great. It looks like she's going to make 85, but she came to me and said, this is my number to the penny. Here's where I am. Let's make sure we get it. I got to have my app in this week, right? Like she had there, like that's her goal right now. But I also know what Sandra's long-term goals are because her and I have talked about them, right? I know what she wants to do for her and Stuart, right? I know what she wants to do for her daughter and her family, right? Like she has both of those. So even if you're brand new, you got to start setting both. Okay. And here's the problem on long-term goals. Most people think a year is a long-term goal. That's a short-term goal, in my opinion. Long-term goals are like 5, 10, 20 years. And like the imagine I want to be. Okay. I want to be Danny Young when I grow up. I want to be when I get to his age that I just love this so much. And it's so much fun helping people that you're just still here for the culture and you're here to help pass your leadership skills on to somebody else. That is a vision for me down the road, right? That's 30 years from now for me, but that's where I want to be when I'm his age, right? I want it to be that I've helped so many people that were there. That's a long-term goal. What's a short-term goal? I am terrified we're not going to place enough business this month that I miss second month of AO. That is a short-term thing for me, right? And it's a reality. We might. I got a bunch of stuff that's not going to place till next month. Hallelujah, Legal in General. They announced yesterday is fixing this stupid appointment issue. It is a problem. I have been all up in their grill about it. So is everyone else, because it's taking too long to get client and offer on a policy. Okay. There's still a few states that are going to take a while, but overall it's going to be way better. But that's an issue, right? But short term, here's the deal. And I like our team will tell you, I'm on this run. I'm not there whipping them saying, hey, you got to do this for me. Hey, I need this placed. I will never, ever do that. I've had that done to me in my career and my life, right? But I know if I help Sandra succeed, if I help Miller and Seta succeed, if I help Jabria and Emily and Dayla succeed, right? If I help Allie get going, right? I'll probably hit those goals, right? If I get them to where they want to be, I can get there, right? And here's the other side. Why do I do this? Because if I help Walnetta get to her goals, right? She's going to be happy. So what's she going to do? She's going to go tell more people about this, right? And vice versa. I want Symmetry to be big because I want it to be more attractive. So if I help Steve and Stacy and Allison and Daniel and everybody on this call get there, right? It's there, right? Like I want this to be like really, really big, right? So you got to have short term, right? Like, hey, I know how much I got to produce. I know what my goal is. So if you're at 80, we're coming and you're not going to make it this month. Get out of the basement. Go net place 5K next month, and you got to write in 3 out of the 4 weeks. Okay. 2. All right. And encouragement has to be specific and not generic. What does that mean? Okay. When you're trying to help people, right? Most people on this call have come to me at some point and asked me for advice. Would you agree I'm usually pretty specific about encouragement to you? Right? Like I try to like specifically like figure out what it is. So when you're doing that, right, specifically figure it out. Because guess what? What motivates Kristen probably isn't what motivates Brandy or Steve, right? What motivates Allison isn't what motivates Stephanie, right? What Katya is trying to do in her life isn't what Allie's trying to do in her life, right? Like you have to like be specific. So those are things you can do to like get out of the pit of despair. And then just like frankly, like people were scared of hard work, right? Like just go work your ass off. Like my butt looks like is in the shape of my chair these days. Right? Like I spend a lot of time in the seat, but I know like where it's going to take us down the road, right? And there's days you got to balance it, but there's days like if I just get that time in now, it'll pay off, right? Because you can go too far the other way, right? But you have to fix that why daily. Right. And so like, what are you doing? And it's there. And then if you tell me you want to make net place 5K in a month, but you make 30 calls a day, I don't believe you. I just don't believe you because your actions don't map what you tell me, right? Hey, I want to build a team, but I interviewed 2 people this week. I don't believe you, right? Because your actions don't map where it goes, right? And here's the deal. If you haven't done $1,000 in a week yet, make $1,000 your first goal. If you haven't done 2, make it 2. If you haven't done 3, make it 3, right? Because winners win. Okay. And you got to start getting some wins. If you haven't done 1,000, make it 500. All right. Set a goal for yourself to hit this week that you can hit, right? That you can really hit, right? Like, what is a goal you can write in a week, right? I wrote 25K in a week. Like, so it's there. I know I can turn it on if I need to, right? Like, you saw me push a bunch of apps out over the weekend. I'm trying to hit AO. Like I could go turn this on, but I also need to help my team. It's a balance, and I'm learning. I make mistakes. I don't do everything right every day, but I've built that skill set to do it. but are you, right? Are you working on building that? So again, if you haven't wrote 500 in a week, make your goal next week $500. You're going to place $500 in business, right? If you haven't wrote 1,000, make it 1,000, 1,500, and go post the ABT beat me to it, right? Go post them. Here's what I want you to do, even better than here. Get your ass on social media and go tell everyone what you're going to do. So you got to be accountable, right? To it. Hey, this is where I'm going and this is what I'm doing, right? Like I know what was for me was really cool yesterday was during the announcements, we're traveling, we're driving, right? It wasn't the people in our, in the Summers Masters agency that messaged me. It was the people outside that messaged me and told me congrats on the promotion, right? Like that's a really cool part about Symmetry. They weren't jealous. They weren't like, oh my gosh, like, oh no, we don't want Trevor to grow. We don't want Trevor to succeed, right? Absolutely, right? Like, there you go, Em, right? Like, what's your goal and where do you want it to be? And set it, and then go talk about what you're going to do. Like, talk about where you want to go, get that accountability, right? And find somebody to be accountable with. You heard Sean and Amy talk about it. Like, Sean and I talk multiple times a day now. We are running this together. We are trying to grow an agency. We are matching numbers, tweaking stuff. We hold each other accountable. There we go. 20K place. Does that count or not count your IUL?
Does not count.
All right. The IUL doesn't count, right? So he wants to, right? So if Steve does that 2 months in a row, he's going to hit top producer, right? Like that's a title here. So, go work on, those kind of things. I promise if you do it, you could, like, if you put that out there, there's a way better chance to do it. Hey, even if you're new and no one knows this, hey, I'm a new life insurance agent, right? You guys might know me because this is my personal page. I love you guys. I'm going to go write $5,000 this month because it meant I help families, right? I'm going to write $500. I don't care what the number is. It does not matter to me, but make it a number that you can achieve, right? Lissy, right? Just got a promotion, right? So, right? So she knows now she can do it. Now let's go right. Like, let's go right to 90, right? Like those kind of things, Hillary, same thing, right? Like, you can do it now. Now you've done it. You can do it again, right? Well, now just place 26. I tell her that all the time, right? I personally, and I'm going to end with this today so you don't know. When I came on here and Scott heard me say that my wife was Polynesian and I was interviewing with Scott, I told Scott, hey, I want to talk to some people, right? Like, let me talk to some people here because I'd interviewed with a bunch of people at Symmetry. I connected with Walnetta, right? And it was the month she had wrote, 30K and placed 26, right? Was it easy for her to be confident that month? Yeah, she just wrote and placed a bunch of money. But here's the thing why I love it. She can't ever tell me again she can't do it, right? She's never allowed to say it again because I've watched her personally do it. So what's your goal now? But now if you haven't done it in a while, should her goal be 26 this month? No, right? Hey, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 15, whatever that is. You got to have a realistic goal because if you set goals and you never hit them, it's gonna it depresses you too much, right? Like it's too hard to not do it. But look at your numbers every day, right? Like look at your numbers, look at your DCAs, right? I'm watching it, right? Like here's what is and I'll share for like our team Tipton. And I'm gonna pick on the people in here. How many of you that are posting, because they're all using counting what counts and posting your DCAs, how many of you are also, am I watching your sales go up? Every single one of you. And how many people don't post that and aren't producing? I'm watching it. I'm literally watching the correlation of the tide rising together, right? So that's what you got to do. Post it in GTA, right? Go out in GTA and go take a video. Don't write it. Take a video on your phone because we all got a cell phone. It's 2025, right? Ain't nobody got flip phones no more. Take a video and say, hey, this is my goal that I'm going to do next week. And this is what my goal I'm going to do for June, and post it, right? Yep. And the whiteboard Gary, I want to get Gary a shirt that says whiteboard Gary. So there's there's a funny story about that we'll tell sometime. But you know, that's what you got to do. So, all right, I'm tired of talking.
Good stuff, man. Thank you.
Post it on Facebook. Where post it where?
I don't care where you post it. Go post
Everywhere.
it publicly. Go make yourself held accountable. Right?
All the places.
All the places, right? Like Allie, are you a TikTok or a like Snapchat? What are you? I'm gonna pick on Allie real quick because she's brand new.
Snapchat, but I'm
But-
not much of a poster. I kind of keep my stuff
Yeah, there you go.
private.
Even more reason to go do it.
Yeah.
Right? Even
Mm.
more reason to go do it. Right? Like,
Right.
so there you go.
DFL Part 2 is
Yeah.
coming up.
Yep. DFL's coming. Go enjoy it. Allie, you can stay here. I gotta meet with Allie real quick. And then we will talk to y'all soon.
Thank
Okay, don't
you.
forget to post the spreadsheet, remember?
Yeah, I'll put it in later. It won't be till tonight. I have 6 interviews this afternoon, so it'll be a
Okay.
little